Hello everyone, it's a Healthy Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my lovely co-host here with me. Hi ladies.
Hello,
Michael. After like 3 weeks?
Yes.
Goodness, YK, you just leave us and abandon us.
No, you know, celebration.
But after celebration, how many weeks do you now need to rest?
It was that decided that, like, I think you're tired, rest 1 more week. And I couldn't argue with her. You know, so I was very grateful that she gave me 1 extra week off. You know,
that's nice.
She actually called, you know, because I already planned to come last week, and then she calls to say, you know, I think you're tired.
I'm sure Amy is shaking her head at that.
We really missed you. How have you been?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Any highlights, any high points for us?
High points? Celebration was. I was surprised. I didn't see TVC. I mean, I saw you, but I didn't see TVC there at all. I was surprised, you know, because I thought it would be news content.
Yeah, it is
for them.
Interestingly, I mean, we'll talk about that a bit later because we'll talk about it a bit. But yeah, it was our goof, my goof.
You know, I saw a lot of TV stations and.
Yeah.
But my own TVC.
Sorry about that.
They failed me.
We apologize. We apologize, like.
You look very
Thank you, but your husband's party on
Sunday.
Your husband. Hey, I have to dance this dance for you.
Oh God, he's gonna get this juice. He was so happy.
I had to because I said, man.
That was when he's a rocker.
He's a real rocker. And then they sang. They're performing for celebration next year.
Yes,
him and his brother.
Thank you.
And we are going to do the dance.
Yeah, so
We'll be backup dancers.
okay. How you doing, Jerry? Tokwe?
I'm good. I'm very fine. Today's show and tell in my children's school. So we had a project. We're celebrating Nigerian legends and African legends generally. And then one of my sons will be talking about Fela Anikulapo Kuti. I said, say he's a legend. He's an activist. He's an activist. Activist. The way I was pronouncing it. I said he's an instrumentalist. It was just, I'm like, okay, don't worry, just have an idea. Because the project in the school was to make them understand that there are legends that have lived and served the people. They're not alive anymore, but we must remember them. Yeah. And they participate in putting together an artwork, sort of. And so they're really excited, and I'm going to go there after school to cheer them on.
You look really beautiful, Tokwe.
Thank you.
Honestly, you're looking really hot these days.
I'm trying. You know,
I forget I used to be a model.
No. The thing is, as a mother, you might forget how to make yourself look good, but then because of putting together a conference to educate women on being conscious of how their look reflects on their marriage and being more conscious, because really you can forget with a mother, with a baby, you can easily forget. You can easily forget.
You look good too.
Yeah, I'm trying. Thanks to your view.
I don't think you have forgotten the way you made that guy feel on Sunday. I mean, he felt on top of the world.
Yeah, the guy was really happy.
He felt on
Moriah
top
is
of the world.
Even all night, he couldn't sleep.
No, Moriah, but I'm not playing lip service to you, but Moriah is the kind of man that single men out there should be praying that I want. The kind of woman that single men should be praying, I want a wife like this. As in, the man was in shock. I know I'm not that nice. Like, I wouldn't have put together that kind of thing. And it makes me want to think, maybe I could do something like this. It's really, really thoughtful of you.
Thank you. Well, Licious in the building.
Yo.
What's Licious about you these days?
Hey, I went body waxing.
Hey, yes!
Body who?
Waxing, full body wax.
She's not feeling cold.
That thing is painful, oh.
I told Mike, I said I look like ice fish. Because first of all, the pain yesterday, I was just screaming. I said,
Body.
Then now, the cold as well. There's,
She feels
because I'm,
silky.
Look at that.
I feel very
like a
silky.
baby's bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let's take a break. Oh, look at that. Oh, I cannot do it, Sha.
No, but you're not hairy enough. She's very hairy.
I'm not hairy at all. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, it's Tuesday. We have lots and lots of topics to talk about a bit later. But first, look at the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's start with the Punch. Okay, I can have your tea actually if you don't want it. So don't stretch yourself. The Punch. Outrage greets alleged sexual abuse of IDPs by soldiers and others. Human Rights Watch documents 45 cases. Buhari orders investigation. Amosu sacks NLC chair, 14 others, and suspend 18 teachers. Rex officials on the bribery probe won't supervise elections, says INEC. Judges arrest revenge, not anti-corruption fight, says Abuja protesters. Sky Bank sacks 50 more workers. Kuka visits Obanikoro Abati Fani-Kayode in EFCC detention. I'll defeat Ibrahim and Jegede, says Akeredolu. 2.7 billion naira fraud charge. EFCC rearranged ex-governor Kalu in Lagos. Couple and siblings, others burnt in Oshun crash. Jonathan was never committed to defeating Boko Haram, says Oshimbajo. Lots of stories here. We'll talk about the IDP camp because I think it's all over the papers a bit later. Who read? Oshimbajo was saying that ex-president Jonathan politicized the issue of Boko Haram. You know, they think it was just a northern agenda to disrupt his administration as a Christian leader. So that's why they never paid enough attention to taking out Boko Haram. That's what made them gain more strength and brought to where we are today. So that's pretty much what he was saying in the speech in the US, actually.
Every time we bring up the issue of religious sentiment and ethnicity, it's to the disadvantage of us as a people, because if the president had not taken it as a religious or a regional issue that should be that it's just them over there, we would probably have dealt with this Boko Haram problem
That's what he's
better.
trying to say.
I hope he also preferred solutions, because you see, for me, because nobody was checkmating anybody, that was why it grew bigger on us. Governance is not about whether the person is from south or the person is from southeast. Governance is that it's governance. So if you're not doing your job,
Well,
you know, you
that's
should
his
be,
own opinion anyway.
No, I'm saying that it's not just he has the power; they have the power right now to change a lot of things, so
Certainly.
that the people that would occupy that position tomorrow will not overlook such things.
I'm glad you said that it's his opinion, because really it's his opinion, and we would have to hear from Jonathan himself to agree for him to say that, yes.
He was giving a speech in Harvard, and it was part of his speech saying that Jonathan was complacent on that. But
we knew he was complacent about it.
Well, you watched, you read about the crash.
Yeah.
The couple and siblings in Oshun.
It was a
Tire burst.
Mazda.
Yeah.
His tire burst, and then he now went out of control and hit the couple in a Toyota or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, they died instantly. The car, 5 people died in the bus.
And we've said it time again, once your tire bursts, just hold on to the steering. I mean, there's nothing as good as... That's why always change your tires and buy new tires. Don't buy Tokumbo tires. That one is standard. But if you have a tire burst, please hold on to your steering wheel, because at least you can save somebody's life. Yes.
The truck that killed for the pupils
It's a different story.
It's a different story.
Yeah, it's a different story. Yeah. Let's move on to The Nation very quickly. Shocked Buhari probes IDP's camp rape claims. Picture here of siblings die in kerosene explosion. Kuka meets Fani-Kayode and Obanikoro Abati at the EFCC. NNPC's $651 billion investment in gas sector, says GMD. Nigeria-Libya output to push down oil price. Okay, who read the story about the kerosene explosion? Pretty pathetic story. The gentleman was trying to turn on the lantern to warm his chicken. He has a bunch of chicken in his house, and unfortunately, when the lantern went down, he tried to refill it, and his kids were with him. And while he was trying to refill, there was an explosion. The 2 kids actually died instantly. He got injured. Pretty sad
he will
story
never
there.
forgive himself.
He will never forgive himself.
Yeah. What's
the IDP camp?
Yes. Okay.
The
one
pregnant,
second. Go ahead.
the pregnant girl. She's about 17 years old. She said from her claims that the policeman had approached her and asked her for sex, and she refused. Then he forced himself on her, and that was the only time they had anything, you know. And she now found out that she was pregnant. When she went to him and told him that she was pregnant, that he threatened to kill her, to shoot her. So she kept quiet. So now I'm happy about this, but I keep saying that all the time. People will recruit in the law enforcement agencies, especially the people who take to this kind of regions. Already, these people are already traumatized as they are in those IDP camps. So whoever is going there should be a trained, not just a police officer, but should have some form of, psychological examination to show that you too, you are even fit to be there.
The only problem I have with this, because it was the Human Rights Watch that unveiled this story to the president. But my worry is that nothing might get done.
No, but the president is doing something about it.
No, but you see, you don't do something about it on the papers, on the front page of the newspapers.
Exactly.
You see, his
when
spokesman
you're done.
came. Yeah, when you're done, you now tell us, okay, this is what they said, and this is what we've done about it. Don't just, the spokesman came saying, oh, the president going to investigate this, we're going to do this. Of course,
And
the guys
that's
who
all.
perpetrated it would have found way to clean up the evidence against them. The idea is that Human Rights Watch brought up this issue, yes, but now you as a president, you get the information, get them to investigate immediately. Don't tell us you're going to do that.
And
do it, and
me,
we'll
I
have
would
you done
prefer
it.
preventive. Do you understand?
Exactly.
Preventive.
And another thing is, what is annoying me is all the officials, NEMA, police, soldiers, they're all saying, you know, not police haven't answered yet. No, it's not us, it's not us.
Yes.
So who is
Who
it?
who did it?
Who is doing the thing?
Anyway, that's the problem I have.
Why should the IDP camps be so awful?
Porous.
It's so porous.
Why should they be so awful? They should be protecting those people
They are
now.
human beings. They're already traumatized.
Boko Haram have been there, bombed them.
Well, this is the beginning of this. Let's not deal. We're going to probably talk about it
No,
much later.
it's
because
something that they should look into seriously.
yeah.
You shouldn't joke with it.
Moving on.
Another committee.
Let's move on to.
I remember what I told you is a committee. I will read it to you again.
Moving on very quickly to Vanguard. Justices Okoro Ademola Ngwota risk 58 years in jail. Federal government formally files charges against them today. Lawyers protest call for judges to step down. And picture of all the various allegations against these judges. Truck crushes 4 Oyo FGGC students. That's the story you're talking about. Pregnant women lament high cost of services in Lagos hospitals. And why amendment of CCB and CCT Act by National Assembly will fail, says Sagi and Maman. All right, the pregnant women lamenting is a hot topic, so we'll talk about it a bit later.
The truck that crushed these 4 girls, they were returning back from Federal Government College in Oyo State, and this truck fell on them. The bus driver died. 4 of the girls died. Then I think about 8 of them are injured. You know, so only from the reports, only 1 of the family have gone to claim the remains of their daughter. It's a very sad story.
Yeah.
They were coming back from what's it called, school for midterm, and now they are
Imagine
gone.
that.
We say it all the time that a lot of people, the number of lives we lose on Lagos Ibadan Expressway, on the expressway.
It was on Bongo somewhere.
No, it's oh, they mentioned the name of the
yeah,
place.
it was Bongo and Ibadan Express, something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, people die every day. So it's only, you know, somebody was saying that only when plane crash happens that the whole world is on standstill. But the truth is that we need to fix our roads,
Right.
or fix maybe
Really?
rail systems.
My road is still bad though.
Now
That's
your
why-
area,
Okay, you
yeah.
should actually be shouting about that road
Alagbole,
every
right?
day. It is terrible.
Alagbole.
It is
Oh.
terrible.
I think the governor is probably working on it because I know when we talked about it some time ago, they did mention that they are planning some works to be done in that
People live
area.
in that area now. People plan
So I know
it,
they
plan
got-
Are you
we
sure
said-
that it's people that live there? The way I'm saying it, we are all animals and beasts because they don't even look at our
No,
faces.
don't worry, they're working on that. Moving on very quickly to Daily Sun. Boko Haram, HIV ravages IDP camps. Related to the story about the police impregnating some of these victims. APC governors brief president on on security. 5 soldiers, 4 others killed in insurgents ambush. Igbo, their own worst enemy, says Kalu. Ondoguba, Akeredolu APC candidate, meets Buhari. And protesting lawyers groups shut down Abuja over judges' arrest. Pretty interesting. The lawyers in defense of democracy and the citizens for good governance came together to protest in Abuja, saying, just defending the judges, saying that it's not an anti-corruption. I'm not paraphrasing. It's bunch hunting of some sort.
Yeah.
They should.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think everybody has a right to fair trial. However, there's no need to gather people to be causing havoc.
They're not
They
causing
should
havoc.
take-
It was a peaceful protest.
They should take legal means to protect the judges, and the judges should also face the rule of law in answering for how they have that money and what
I
they've done
just
wrong.
want to ask a question. How much are you supposed to have in the house? I didn't know there was a legal amount that you must have in the house. So
Really?
There's no point in having that money. They should just explain how they got the money.
listen. They said that they have excess amount of money in the
one
house.
had $121,000. One had
$154 million.
$38,000. That's $319,000, like that. That's one of them.
So what I'm asking is, what is the legal amount
have in
you should
your
have
that
in
you
your house.
should have in the house?
Okay,
So
that's a
because
topic for another
they
day.
can come to your house and see 100K and say, you are money laundering. So I need to know.
Okay,
But I wanted to mention
advise
about-
you, don't just keep money in your house. You never know.
No, I don't keep money in the house, but I just need to know.
No, okay.
So
All
that
right.
just in case.
We have to round up. Unfortunately, we run out of time. That's all we can take on front page review. When we come back, Our hot topic today: hospitals making millions from pregnant women. That's the accusation the allegation actually we read in the papers. And later on, Let's Talk, we'll put a searchlight on the Nigerian health sector. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. Now, there has been reports of hospitals making money from pregnant women through cesarean section. Though CS, which is an abdominal surgery performed on a woman by cutting through her abdomen and the womb to deliver the baby. This has saved dozens of lives across the country. But new findings have shown on how medical personnel now use it to extract money from family, especially young couples who are desperate to welcome their first babies. Now, what are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so you can read your tweets.
I can talk from
Experience.
Because when I was pregnant, when I was about 38 weeks, they told me the baby's head had engaged. But when I went into labor, I was there for like 12 hours. And then, I mean, nobody was attending to me. If I just crawled to the toilet, the nurse would say, sorry, she won't even help me. And then, this was like about 7 a.m. or so. My mother was now calling the hospital frantically. My daughter has been there since. When the doctor got there, he says, you are in labor, your child is coming out with her legs. So you have to have a cesarean. At that point, I was exhausted. There was no, just anything, if it kill me, I was just ready. I was like this. They gave me a paper to sign for a cesarean, and I signed it immediately. All I just wanted was peace because I was in so much pain. Later on, my ex-husband and I, we sat down and thought, this thing was more like, because at that time, ordinary childbirth was like 600 naira, 300 naira. Having cesarean was like 3,000, So we were like, I think it was a plan, just to get more money.
Yeah.
But that's what you would not only pay for the cesarean, you would pay for the accommodation, the hospitalization.
Yes,
you would pay for everything.
Extra days. Now, I think because one of the topics we talked about earlier, I mean, last week, when we talked about fistula, VVF. And one of the issues is the fact that a lot of people in poor families can't afford cesarean section. So once they hear cesarean, they rush to go and meet the herbalist.
And it results in fistula.
So some do result in fistula. So to prevent this, let's not even go to the prevention here, but let me hear your own thoughts on your own.
My experience. Now, this is talking about general hospitals in Lagos where you're supposed to have free medical care.
Yes.
And I gave birth 7 months ago in a general hospital in Lagos, Ifako. And it wasn't free. It wasn't free in any form.
Yeah.
Before you are allowed to even register, you pay 12,000 naira. I thought that was the entire fee until I was told that was just for registration. 2,000, I first paid 2,000 naira and 2005. And they gave me coconut oil and a form telling me about pregnancy. And I said, is that what the money is for? I wasn't informed. They just said, bring 2,500 naira. And everybody paid it like that. It was for coconut oil. Which is not compulsory because I might decide not to use coconut oil. I might decide to use something else for my baby.
Yeah.
That was the first way of getting money. Then next they say donate blood. Now my husband is well and around to donate blood, but some people don't have their husbands. They are told to either donate blood or pay 10,000 naira. So that's another way and if you do not donate blood, you don't get registered. So you don't get treatment in any form until you can get someone to donate blood or pay your way through. Then when you're done with donating blood, you now pay money for the hospital, which is over 20,000 naira. That's normal delivery. And I look at it that this is meant to be, like if you get there, they say, every medical personnel, every statement from the Lagos State government is that maternal care is free in Lagos. But I think we need to do more. They need to do more investigation to find out what are the bills people are now paying if it is actually meant to be free, because it isn't. Now, I use the hospital, considering comparison to private hospitals, it is really cheap if you're looking for good quality that you get in those general hospitals. However, with the kind of people they are servicing, these are people that are on the streets.
That's the issue I want to also talk about.
It is not affordable.
Yeah, the man on the street can't afford that 20,000, that 12,000, into 5. Because I remember you even advised me to go to general hospital when I had twins. I should go there for my antenatal. And I was going there, and I realized that every time they were asking you to bring money for one thing or the other. Either to buy the stuff you're supposed to bring. I can't remember the stuff.
You're buying your delivery
pack.
Everything. You are buying your
even the net. Yes. Sleeping net that's supposed to be free of charge. Oh, yes. They make you pay for it. Even one of my colleagues in the office, I think Debo, he was lamenting also. His wife was supposed to give birth. They were demanding, I think, 30,000 naira. And he was like, this is supposed to be free for heaven's sake. So that's the issue. So obviously, general hospitals in Nigeria, in Lagos especially, isn't as free as people think it is.
Can I just ask this question? This is totally unrelated. The blood that you are donating, they are always collecting blood from people. Are they vampires?
No, the idea is that people don't ordinarily donate blood in Nigeria. So they use an opportunity to get you to donate blood. So whenever there's an emergency, they have blood bank available. But because Nigerians not ordinarily volunteer to give blood. Yes.
You know, we had the report on the front page of Vanguard this morning, and the person was giving her own story. She said that she actually chose to go to the Isolo Mother and Child Center because she heard that it's the best place to deliver your baby. But by the time she was doing the running cost, do you know that by the time they ask you to pay for this, pay for this, pay for this, for a normal, for a natural birth, you're going to be paying as high as 60,000 naira. Then for cesarean session, you're going to be paying as high as 100,000 naira. You know, and this is supposed to be where they say that the medical center delivery and all that is supposed to be free. So are you sure now? First of all, I wanted to ask Tope a question. All this money you pay, do you give them like cash or you pay into an account? Are you sure that it is not a collaboration between nurses and
some were cash?
The
first was cash.
Do you understand?
And some were.
So how are we sure that the government is aware that they are even collecting this sum of money? Because she is alleging that they are using that hospital to extort money from people.
Let me take this call from Isaac from Abuja. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to contribute in is it not the present one? Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, in fact, this topic of this doctors' sudden changes in this cesarean session and whatever, it's not only in Lagos.
Okay.
Precisely here in Abuja, my wife just undergo through CS just recently now.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife just undergo through the cesarean session.
Yes.
This for the second time. And the money they extorted from me, in fact, is very, very huge amount. So I don't know why the sudden changes of these trends from the doctors now. Honestly, they need to check even the certificates of some of our doctors because, yeah, honestly, because I didn't understand. Is it the kind of food we are eating now or what?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Isaac. But in fairness, cesarean outside the country is extremely expensive. For those of you that medical everywhere is expensive. So it is highly subsidized in Nigeria.
No, but I want to quote something from the paper Vanguard. The situation in Bagada General Hospital was findings reveal that registration in Bagada General Hospital is 5,000 naira with compulsory blood donation by the spouse. Normal delivery is 38, CS is 44. Now, Amuward of Mother and Child. Registration is 23,000 naira compulsory with blood donation. Delivery is 28,000 naira. CS is 74,500 naira. Isolo General Hospital, different. 12,500 for registration. Then the spouse will donate blood. Booking is 20,000. That is different. Normal delivery is 15,000. Then CS is 58,000. And for other clinic admissions,
and that
12,000.
So this
is all different. My issue is that why, and what I paid in Bagada for my twins is different from what I paid in Ifako.
Yes.
You know, so why are we having different bills from different hospitals that are supposed to be all general hospital of the same level?
Let me take this call from Bode Abeokuta. Bode, are you still there?
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. Just a matter of information. It's good that we also educate ourselves. The reality on ground is that it's wishful thinking to think that to be totally free. I work in the health sector. The blood doesn't come from the tap. Somebody donates the blood, and you come with an emergency, and you will be given blood with the expectation that you should be able to find someone to donate, or you pay so that they can replenish what they've dispensed on you. With the
what
issue
if you don't use it?
Session, if you don't use it, it's different. If you don't use it, it's different. But what happens in a lot of times is that a matter of protocol, there must always be blood in the theater.
Okay.
It's an assumption that will not be used. Now, please, I'll quickly finish. On the issue of cesarean section, I bet you it is the safest mode of delivery. A lot of doctors are having problems as we speak because they decided to put those women through the rigors of vaginal delivery. And now there are statistics also showing that a lot of Nigerian women now are by virtue of their lifestyle and all now, they are compelled to do cesarean section. It is the safest mode. I don't think that we should always
what is the lifestyle? What is the lifestyle that we are compelled?
My sister, what you are eating is not what your mother ate when she was your age. You can attest to that. We're eating McDonald's, we're eating these different things now. And that's the reality. And we can see it in our lifestyle. We are not as healthy as our parents were.
Okay. All right.
I wanted to ask.
Point taken. Thank you very much, Bode.
I wanted to ask him a question that if I now donate blood, talk about donated blood, she didn't need blood at the end of the day. Would they pay me for the blood I've donated? Because when you go to blood banks to give your blood sometimes they give you.
No, it's volunteer. You volunteer.
Some people volunteered, but some people actually go and they give them what's it called? Stipends.
All those boys there. All those boys there, they sell their blood.
Yes,
it's not free.
Before we move away, Moriah, please, I need to acknowledge that the state government is doing a lot. However, we're bringing this up so that they would look into it because the minister, the commissioners don't go to the hospital, so they don't know that there are disparities in the prices.
It is better you should look into it. Moriah, it is better you say that it is subsidized.
I know that the honourable member, Olula, was saying that this matter has been looked into by the House. So hopefully, and remember our governor told us that they're going to be investing 20 billion naira by January in the healthcare sector. So hopefully things will change soon. We're just letting them know based on the report.
Change the narrative.
We need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue on the searchlight on the Nigerian health sector. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. Now, despite being Africa's biggest economy, Nigeria spends relatively little on the health of its citizens as women and children continue to suffer from treatable and preventable diseases. According to reports, every single day, the country loses about 2,000 children under 5 to diseases, while 158 Nigerian women die from pregnancy or childbirth-related illnesses due to negligence or related cases. Now, joining us is a public health physician, advocate, and senior policy advisor of the One Campaign, Dr. Francis Ohanyido. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. It's good to be with you here.
You can call us on 070-80668014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Now, you've been hearing our lamentation, I would say, earlier, because generally we're women, all of us have kids, and we've gone through the Nigerian system. And the truth is that things could be better. And there was an article that kind of sparked this recently, the women complaining that lamenting that it's pretty expensive for a cesarean section. And our question really is, are we investing enough in the public sector in Nigeria? is it that important to our government to understand the need to invest? Because we see other countries where healthcare is free to some level, at least because you have the insurance companies that pay the doctors and all that. Are we investing enough in this healthcare in Nigeria?
Okay, let me take it from this way. Maybe I should just put one statistic that is not there. Nigeria has about 2% of the world population, and we have about 14% of the maternal deaths globally. That's unacceptable on any level. So that means we are delivering dead women from our health system more than at least almost the rest of Africa put together. So that's very sad, because there are countries that have come out of even war, like Rwanda, that their health systems have done better than Nigeria. The indicators are there for everybody to see. So it's sad. So what it means is that relatively, we are not putting enough. One, because in 2001, there's what is known as the Abuja Declaration, which African Union leaders agreed based on statistics that every country's annual budget should put in at least 15% for health. We have been revolving somewhere between 3 and 5 for the past decade, which is sad. And then the other thing about it is that we also have issues in terms of the quality of health you get per naira. So it's not just put the money. We're also saying there should be more results on investment for every naira put into the health sector. What that brings about is the issue of transparency and accountability in the health system. So part of what goes on is that there's so much procurement drive in the health system that a lot of even the little money goes into just things that are not necessary. I'll give you a case scenario. About 75% of healthcare problems in Nigeria should be treated at primary healthcare level. You should be able to walk from your house 10-15 minutes to a public health facility that is primary healthcare. That's the lowest rung, and get treated for malaria, get treated for diarrhea disease, or the children can be treated for those things, or respiratory tract infections, because those are the main killers in our society. It's not the highfalutin things. It's not kidney, cancers are there, but it's not those highfalutin things. Those ones only probably should be super specialists at places like teaching hospitals, at national hospitals that should treat, and that constitutes about probably 14 to 15% of cases, roughly about that. So what it means is that we are putting so much money into super specialists because of procurement. That's enough problem.
Because so make money from the procurement.
Yeah, people in the system and all that. So it's a challenge for our society. And one of the things that happened over the past 1 decade, it took us 10 years to develop a National Health Act. Why this is important is that our constitution, our 1999 constitution as it is, only basically has about 3 sentences on your health, on your health, on your health, on my health. Meanwhile, we went through the process of now developing an act that speaks to our health system, redefines it, gives statutory responsibilities in the health system according to tiers of governance and all that. The whole idea is to strengthen the health system, make it more functional. But since this act was signed in 2014, to date, it has not been activated. It's a sad thing, because one of the things it does really is that it also stipulates, coming to some of the things people have been talking about, is that it has 3 gateways. One of the gateways is the issue of people being taken as emergency cases to hospital. The onus is on the provider to make sure you are treated and stabilized without asking for anything. The issues of police report, the act negates it.
Yes.
You have to be treated first and be stable. Even if you are going to the next port of referral, you have to be stabilized.
I've been in a situation, Murayo, and it happened within this office. I was going through a miscarriage and I was rushed to an hospital. And I wasn't treated until they were confirming, is she on HMO? We can't find her HMO card. And they were calling the HR to confirm that I can afford to pay. And this is someone, and that is an issue. And this was a one-off. Some people are in life and death situation. And in between that gap of trying to confirm the mode of payment, we lose lives. So what can we do to...
Does that act protect...
That's what I'm telling you, that the act gives you...
that protection.
A fiat that makes sure the provider treats you, and the provider can be liable to prosecution if the provider does not do that. I'll give you, and one of the things you remember recently, James Ocholi, a good friend of mine, the former late Minister for State for Labour. He had an accident with his wife and son in the middle of nowhere, Regina, somewhere along Kaduna Abuja Road. And the first port of call was a health facility, and it was some distance away. And of course, naturally, if you don't have the infrastructure, it now doesn't matter if you are the highest level of Nigerian government or you are the lowest level of poverty, you will be in the same situation. You'll be praying.
Let me come see. That was the point I was trying to make, because this budget that was passed had provision to build more healthcare centers. And health advocates were saying, listen, we don't need any more centers. We need you to equip those centers. We'd rather you equip those centers and let them be functional than just building more centers, because that's what the budget was accommodating for. So do you agree? And how far is, these are your advocacy group. What are you doing to ensure that we actually have these health centers equipped?
Well, the 10,000 facility is not actually to build, if I understand the government. What they've been saying is that it's a makeover to make sure at least some select, not even every primary healthcare facility, primary healthcare are the basic. Because the first thing is that the national health policy of Nigeria, which was reviewed even this year, makes primary healthcare the foundation of health in Nigeria. So if you get primary healthcare right, you don't need to even go most times to secondary level or to even a teaching hospital. The idea somebody walks out of his house and goes to loot to treat malaria, it is socially crazy. Yeah. Because what it means is a signal that our health system, the foundation, has problems. Okay. That's why people can walk from their house and go and treat malaria and loot. Loot has no business treating malaria except severe and complicated malaria, because it's a super specialist thing. So that's where those are some of the problems we see in the system.
I hear now that loot would only take you based on referrals. That's what I heard recently. You know, but I wanted to ask, there are cases where doctors misdiagnose or they just carry out certain things and we eventually lose life. I had a case of my sister-in-law. She was trying to give birth. Of course, they said cesarean, they did the cesarean and all that. And she was bleeding and nobody noticed. It was when I got to the room, I saw that the bed was already soaked with her blood. There was negligence. Because we are used to not filing or prosecuting, now the incompetence of the doctors are also, we cannot turn a blind eye towards that as well. So how do we merge everything as citizens? Also hold, as we are holding the government accountable, we want to also hold the doctors and the people that are supposed to be the experts accountable as well. Okay,
let me try. It's actually a problem of Nigeria. The same way you go to a fast food and you get all sorts of nonsense. The same way you go to the market and buy things that people say. Yeah. So the health system suffers a Nigerian thing, and that is why, despite whatever anybody will say, Nigeria needs change, but maybe not the political kind of change. It's the change of trust, where you and I can be able to trust this mug, trust this tea, trust that ceramic, and it's the same thing with the health system. And it has to start from a foundation that makes sense. You have to do an incremental build-up, because the problem here is that what has happened over time is that even those who work within the health setting have come in with that Nigerian mindset. And part of the weakness is actually regulatory. For example, from the doctor side, or even the across providers, there's for the laboratory people, there's a regulatory body for the laboratory scientists of Nigeria. There's a medical and dental council which regulates me as a doctor for all medical practice in Nigeria. And it has a tribunal which has an enabling law or decree that actually makes it an equivalent of a law court. So it can try you. And it has tried several doctors. But it's the reporting. There has to be a sort of reporting system that actually enables the consumer to be able to put a case. Exactly. And then the other thing is that the government also has to fund the regulatory bodies well. They are handicapped, they don't have enough staff. So, and Nigeria has over 180 million people. Where do you start when your organization probably has like 20, 30 people scattered over Nigeria? So those are some of the issues on ground.
You know, this regulatory body, does it apply to the private hospitals as well? Because my cesarean, I believe they forced me to have.
Okay.
It was a private hospital. It wasn't a general hospital.
Regulation. Medical and Dental Council is a federal body. It covers everybody. And that is one of the things the National Health Act, why we are saying the government must activate it.
Also,
one of the things, it has not been, because it has to be financed. There's a 1%, which is supposed to come from the consolidated revenue of the Federation of Nigeria. Okay. That the federal government is supposed to put into primary healthcare. And that also helps in terms of expanding coverage for vulnerable groups like mothers and children and along poverty. Those are the poverty level, that band. And most Nigerians, so that you should be able to have a modicum of treatment and a safety valve, like a sort of social insurance. That is there, and I talked about the emergency gateway. And there's also a component that also tries to give us equipment and also through National Primary Care Development Agency. But the point is this: the regulation is key. But to regulate, you have to be capacitated. You have to have the capacity, you have to have the funding for it. So those things are also part of the problem. So we are saying the government should put in more money.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take your phone calls and tweets. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. Yes, I think we'll take some tweets and phone calls, but let's
I wanted to ask a question. Now, you said that investment in the health sector is always tilted towards procurement. There was a case of a staff of TVC that went to Lasut, and they had a very fantastic looking X-ray equipment to do X-ray, but it wasn't functioning. Not one, I think they had about two. It wasn't functioning, so he had to go to another facility outside. They referred to an external one that was an older equipment but was functioning. So don't you think our investment should be more in human capacity in building? Because we have a lot of doctors that are moving out as opposed to equipment. The human beings that man it are more important than just.
Sorry, I want to tie this new hospital that the Akpabio built.
We went there now.
We went there.
There was no doctor on the weekend.
You know,
beautiful
facilities
building.
and all that, but no manpower. So her question is very valid.
Okay, in fact, it's interesting, really. But you see, there's no one-fit-all solution. But the problem is that it's a balance of planning and also budgeting. We need all of those things, but it's where it tilts that is the problem. If it tilts where it's beyond what we need, then the return on investment is poor. So that's one challenge with it. So, and of course, corruption drives a lot of things.
Certainly. Let me take this call from Odusi. Odusi, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, please, I would like to ask a question because I have a 6-week baby. Then they gave a BCG.
Okay.
So I learned that there should be spot coming out. But as there's nothing like that. So the matron said we have to collect another one. So I want to ask the man and the doctor there, maybe we should collect another one or not. Thank you.
You need to listen to it.
Yeah, I think this is where your own doctor comes into the issue. I cannot stay here. I haven't even seen whether there's any form of even scarring. What you may say is not there, maybe some spot or something. So each individual's response, because there's some form of immunogenic response when you give BCG. So it's not the same for everybody. Some people have serious hyperscarring from it, some have moderate to mild scarring. Yeah. So it's dependent, and then it is something she now has to discuss with her doctor. I can't sit here because I've not even seen the baby, and I'll just proffer a solution. I think these are also some of the challenges we have, because people just think doctors can just sit somewhere and just solve their problems. There's a danger to that. There's always good to have some good information before you make such. And also
self-medication.
Self-medication is a major issue in Nigeria, and that's why globally we're afraid now. Most antibiotics have developed, they have organisms that have resistance to them. So a point will come when we don't even have any antibiotic as a last fallback to treat infections. You can imagine a universe of things where that happens.
I would love you to talk about the
let me take Richard from Surulere. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I want to say that this the health system in Nigeria basically is a greed thing. The average Nigerian is very greedy. Because I'm sure if you check out the budget between Nigeria and other African countries, I'm sure the health system in Nigeria gets more money than a lot of other countries around Africa. And apart from that, the money they get from the hospitals, from people, can also sustain them. But every time they keep coming to the TV, they carry placards and they keep asking for money for their private pocket. Every time they do that. And they use it as an excuse for not delivering proper health care delivery to Nigerians. Now your guest there is telling me that before they can have the regulatory council, they need 1% of the budget. 1% of the budget for what? For which for have regulatory council? So you can't have the regulatory council just on your own to checkmate doctors around the country. You tell them everything is about money in this country. They look at senators and House of Rep people and they want to be like them. If you look between their ears.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you very much.
I have to disagree with you.
Can I respond to that?
Yes,
You can, because I...
Thank you, Richard. That's the issue. But I think he's mixing up labor strikes in the health system and what we're talking about here. We're talking about funding the health system in terms of infrastructure, the same infrastructure that is not working, the same reason why in my own class of graduating medical class, at least 10% of my classmates within the first 6 years had left Nigeria.
Yes.
The same reason there's nothing to work for, to aspire for in Nigeria. So some of these things are realities, and we can't run away from them, Richard. It's actually doing what is right. Part of what is right is to make sure that primary health care is gotten right. And primary health care is not about doctors and even nurses. It's more about community health extension workers and some nurse midwives. So it's not even at that level we're talking about. We want a modicum of level where your referrals will now determine what your problem is, how serious it is.
Let me take this last call. Sam, are you there?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, a quick one. I remember Lady Tokwe Makodije did say she went to Ifako and all that.
Yes.
Okay? You see, my take is this. There's so much secrecy in our system. If you want to have a transparent and an accountable system, okay, you definitely need to open up, the information channels. Ideally, before you visit, you ought to be well informed. You need to definitely know, it's going to cost me so much, registration and all that.
Yes.
So he's playing a fast one behind.
Thank you.
And then you say, we're not sure if the governments are where they're collecting this or that. You're getting it. Yes. I mean, it should be a kind of public notice stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sam. Appreciate it.
That was what I wanted to say before we close the hot topic, that if the government truly they're serious about reforming the healthcare sector, put an online portal. Don't say that it is free. Say highly subsidized, medical care for mother and child. Then you put a breakdown. This is how much the expected registration costs. So the person plans, not that the person gets there and they now start giving them all sorts of bills.
I think I need to advise them to have their TSA too for general hospitals.
Today Daudu says, I want you to please invite the commissioner and special advisor on health to your program. You are invited. Alexander Alabi says, government should see that doctors do not go on strike again in this country. Lives are at risk when this happens. It's very bad.
Our guest response to all the...
Yeah, okay. Basically, Sam hit the nail on the head. One of the things that has happened recently in Nigeria, one of the things that came out of President Buhari's London Anti-Corruption Summit is that Nigeria is going towards open governance, open government. So Nigeria is now a member of Open Government Partnership. What that means is that a lot of reforms will come into the system where a lot of information will be ICT driven, where you can go online, have information about what's happening here. So that what that does, it reduces opacity. Opacity in the sense that, like Sam pointed out, a lot of things are hidden. So what that does is that it encourages corruption. So when you have things more in the open space, even contracting, we say that even contracting, there should be information about beneficial ownership so that we don't end up with things like Panama Papers, where some people use shell companies to come and harvest money out of developing countries and disappear. So those things are very important. So open government is the way to go, where most information are there. So you will know what you're getting. You can be able to now say, okay, at this level, this is the foundation of what I've gotten. Do I think I'm satisfied with what I've gotten? Or where there are issues, you can actually say, I saw it there. You know, like when Nigerian Electric Regulatory Commission came out with on his website.
Let's do some tweets.
Health says that some PHC, that's public health
primary health care
clinics, centers, are nothing to write home about. Hence, I'm not surprised that some women and people resort to Ileriamu. The Drama Country says, despite donating blood in Bagada General Hospital when registering my wife, I was made to buy blood from an outside lab during delivery, yet it was unused.
Pearl says, when we talk about financing the health sector, we shouldn't forget about population, infrastructure, workers, etc. Then Olayemi says, in my area, General Hospitals, Shomolu, I was asked to prepare my wife for CS, and we left to Redeemed, and my wife delivered safely.
Rufai Balogun Rukaya says, morning ladies, my experience was at Luth. It cost me over 150,000 naira. I donated 3 pints, which I didn't use. And then Imafi Don, Joseph asks, ask your guest why medical services are expensive in Nigeria, despite government subsidizing the health sector.
We have to round up. Unfortunately, they don't have time to take this story. But the truth is that what led us to this conversation is the cesarean section. People complain about the cost. Is there any way this cost can be subsidized by the government at some point?
Well, there are two sides to cesarean section. You see, that's where it becomes very, very technical. The side that it is an emergency cesarean section, and the other side is elective. If you choose now to go and do elective cesarean when you can ordinarily deliver vagina, why should government focus its resources on you at the detriment of that woman in the village that is an emergency? So we have to be very careful about how we look at this thing. But the point is that we are heading towards a universal health coverage, and one of the things we want is the government to implement or activate the National Health Act, because it gives more people, especially at the bottom of the social pyramid, an opportunity to be able to deliver.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we can say. Thank you so much, sir. We learned quite a bit from you. See you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.